worse than it is, don't worry. I'm using the cane for the first time I think in about 10 years. So anyway. No, go. You guys go ahead. I'll come back. You guys get something here. So.
Congratulations.
Well, I made all except about 9 miles. I ran out of time. I got to Stewart's. I was supposed to go to Atkinson, and it was getting late in the evening. And I figured by the time I got to Atkinson, it'd be well past dark. If you ever seen some of the holes along Cowboy Trail, you either don't want to walk on them and twist an ankle up or break an ankle, or you don't want to encounter the animal that made that hole, which is usually a badger. I had wasp spray, but I don't know how that would effectively would take care of finishing off a badger. And I wasn't going to run away from it by that time, that was for sure. But other than that, I made it. Yes, I did. So.
I'll tell you, I'm just amazed at you.
Well, I'm going to tell this right now to everybody. That was my inaugural and farewell tour. That's no more crazy stunts for Father Ross.
Did you take along a smaller belt?
I took along, I had no belts. I had a good walking stick. I had plenty of, it was a perfect day, perfect 5 days for walking. The last day was the worst one. Saturday was bad because the tree pollen was blowing out of the south and I was getting watery eyes and sneezing. So that was not fun. But other than that, it was pretty good walking weather.
You're a crazy man, isn't you? Were you surprised it was this cold the first day?
I, again, didn't even notice. Didn't even notice, yeah. I brought a bag with me, which was a stupid idea, for the first 20 miles. And then I had a man who was a trucker from here, Scott.
Stewart.
Yeah. And he was waiting along the highway, and he said, "Is there anything I can do, Father?" And I said, "Take this bag to the Catholic Church in Ainsworth, please. That would be more than enough." So he's kind of my, I'm going to change his name to Simon. Yeah, that's nice. So, anyway, I am here to answer any questions or whatever you may have of my walk. All I can say is I'd like to say that I was paying attention to scenery. There was some spots that were really very, very beautiful. If you go by Valentine, the Niobrara Bridge is well worth it. That was beautiful. But there were also some other spots too. The bridge going into Long Pine was actually really nice. You know, you don't think that because Long Pine is not really a very big town, doesn't have a whole lot. But you walk in, it's actually very pretty. It's very pretty.
That's a beautiful area.
Yeah, yeah. But after that, you know, you're just saying, I need to make this destination. So cattle, everything else is fine. I will say this: the only scary moment I had, there were no wild animals on the road, on the trail. I will tell you that right now. So if you want, I saw a lot of rabbits, and I saw none of the other rabbits that were advertised. None of the animals. No bald eagles. Saw no bald. I saw a couple of turkey vultures, but you didn't appreciate. I think I might have seen a couple of quail, but I think I was hallucinating. I'm sure there were ground squirrels because I saw enough of their holes, but they didn't appear, which surprised me because they used to like to come out. So rabbits were the only thing I saw. Then I saw a fox between Ewing and Tilden. It was a black one, and I knew it was a fox by the tail. And 5 deer east of Ainsworth. So that was kind of neat. But other than that, the thing that scared me the most, I was worried about farm dogs because people around here like to let their dogs run free. But they generally kept them within their fences. But there was at one time, I was right on the Holt-Rock County line of where I saw 2 cows, big cows, run across Cowboy Trail, about a half a mile ahead of me. And I said, you know, here I've been worrying about badgers, wolves, stuff like that, and I'm afraid what's gonna do me in is getting attacked by a couple of cows. But, they ran off and that was fine, so. But, it's great. I learned a few things. So you learn about perseverance, and you learn about divine providence, because there are people that are put there just when you need them the most. Like Scott with his truck, I needed that badly. There was at Wood Lake, I went to the post office, and the postmaster there had a gallon of his own water. Okay, so he gave me a few glasses of water to keep me going, because I was getting very thirsty by that time. And then Johnstown, I was never so happy to see a saloon in my whole life. And when I went in there, I didn't order their normal stuff. I said, I want the biggest pitcher of ice water you have. And then they had Gatorade, which helped out a lot. But all the priests along the way, whether it be Father Heidoff, whether it be Father Steffes, Father Cramper, and Father Shinost, they were wonderful. They really were. And so God puts people in your life just when you need them. And that's what I learned about. So it was a great experience learning about how God works. So, but other than that, like I said, I'm open to questions. I've given you my thing. So, yes, Lonnie.
How much of the trail isn't along the highway? I mean, I know some of the trail goes in, doesn't it?
A lot of it veers off. In fact, I will tell you this. When you get to close to Meadow Grove, you do not see the highway again.
I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's gone.
There.
It goes way south.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
further up, it's all along the highway?
It will go the highway from, let's see, I'm trying to think of, well, Tilden, for sure. Yeah, Tilden till, it goes to the highway, I'm gonna say more or less, it still goes through O'Neill, because you're on the south edge of town.
Okay.
So it's inhabited. Then it kind of veers off again. There were some spots once, especially once I got into Rock County, which, by the way, I never knew I crossed into. I kept thinking I was in Brown County when I left Ainsworth and left Long Pine.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I'm in Bassett, I'm in Rock County. I said, when did that happen? Okay. You don't see a highway again. And then it kind of comes back in. It's kind of an in and out thing, Lonnie, but
Okay.
there are certain long stretches of where you can hear the whine of the tires, and that's little else.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you do going from here to, did you go to North Fork?
Yeah. Bill and Phyllis were picked me up in Tilden. I stopped off at the Sub and Suds. I needed a bag of corn chips. Don't ask me why. I got that and some Gatorade. And then they dropped me off at the edge of town. Now, the thing I didn't appreciate, I got to about a mile outside of Tilden, and the bridge was out. But what it said was that Cowboy Trail was out. So I'm thinking, oh gosh, here's this Clearwater thing again, where you have to go about a quarter mile, get on the highway, walk on the highway, which I didn't like. Go down and then find the next dirt road, which would take you back onto Cowboy. Well, that's almost 2 miles. And you know, that's fine, but you get all these trucks that go by, and you don't know what they're kicking off out of their wheels. And I'm thinking I'm going to get bulleted by one of these rocks. They had the bridge, and it didn't say bridge was out. It said Cowboy Trail is closed until further notice. And I'm thinking to myself, oh gosh, how far is this going to be? So I called them, and as it turns out, it was just the bridge. So they dropped me off ahead, and I continued walking. I forgot what the rest of your question was. Yeah, there's some that's really right by the highway. In fact, I know KVSS wanted to call me, talk to me Friday morning, and I called them and I told them, I said, look, I'm right next to the highway. They milled the surface. I got a lot of truck traffic. I cannot hear a cell phone. So it's just best that I don't talk to people, because I'm going to keep saying, why?
Did your cell work all the way?
It worked in the sense that I could turn it on, but cell reception was just totally, yeah. You know, that was the one thing, trying to call people and tell them where I'm at, how I'm doing, was impossible. Especially in the West Edge. I would say safely till, well, certainly to Atkinson was not great. And then even then, between Atkinson and Ewing was not really great.
Too many hills in there, isn't there, Father?
A lot of hills, but it's just, the cell reception is just
Dead.
bad. Yeah, it really is. So,
So what was your longest day? That one day it was probably 14 hours you were outside.
I would say the longest day, believe it or not, was not the first day, because I had enough pep and energy to make it from Valentine to Ainsworth. It was the second day. When I walked from Ainsworth, I got to Stewart, and I looked at my watch, and I looked at where I was, and I said, 40 miles? That's it? I mean, literally, I said, that's it? I had no bag on me, no nothing. And I said, I'm done. That's it. And once again, divine providence, there was a couple there from Atkinson, and the woman said, Father? And I don't know who she was, and I didn't have clerics or anything, but she apparently knew that I was the priest. And so they gave me the lift to Atkinson. So that was nice. But that was long. And I suppose if it had been June, when the sun was out till almost 10, I might have went ahead and made a shot at it. But the way I had it timed, 7 to 10 miles in 2 hours, and you're supposed to be off that trail at dark. You're not permitted on the trail. So I looked at the time and I said, I'm going to still be on this trail at dark.
You had a cookout that night?
No, they were going to do that, and they just basically brought the burgers over. I knew there was just no way that I could make that. Yeah. So, but I made 40 miles the next day. I got from Atkinson to Ewing, but I was literally not only shaking, I was out of breath. And after that, I consoled myself with the idea, tomorrow is 30, the next day is 22. And to me, that would almost seem like child's play. The last day, believe it or not, was actually not bad. I wish the tree pollen wasn't around, but the walking was not that bad. It really was. It was actually a nice day. I saw bikers out on the road, and I knew I was close to civilization. I don't know who put all that chalk stuff on the things there at Tahazuka, but there was people who wrote chalk messages as I'm making my way into Tahazuka. Yeah. One of them said, "Your legs will thank you eventually." Another one said, "Remember you signed up for this." One said, "There's no time to stop to look at the sights now." And finally, when I made it underneath the bridge overpass the highway, I got onto the thing and it said, "Now it's time to celebrate." And so when I saw the bench that said Cowboy Trail, I knew I had arrived. So.
A lot of cars go by and tooting at you, I hear.
They did, yes. Especially when I was making it between, well, believe it or not, actually, when I got between O'Neill and Ewing, that I got a few of those. And then, not so much, well, of course, I couldn't so much the last day because it was so far off the highway.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Basis said they saw you out there and they waved, you waved back, but Mary Jane said, I know, he didn't know who it was.
It was just all instinct. If somebody honked or waved, I just did it, but it's like, I'm sorry. Yeah, gave my walking stick a little. I appreciated the little reception there at Neely and Oakdale.
We wanted to go, but we didn't know what time he was gonna get over there.
I thought I'd seen your vehicle when I would set small goals. You know, I would say, okay, that batch of spinach up ahead, that's my next goal to get past. Then it's the culvert, that's my next one. Walk past that. You just had to keep. The other reason is, if I quit here, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So I might as well just keep going until I find civilization. I said, well, I found civilization. Well, that wasn't so bad. I'll just go to the next place now. Okay, so.
Didn't you get leg cramps and stuff at night
Never.
when you quit?
Never.
Oh. Man, that's not
That's good.
Yeah, it was a lot, it was, you gotta stay hydrated, folks, I'll tell you that right now. Gatorade and water is your best friend. Your legs will be very tired, I will tell you this. Tired legs are as bad as insomnia.
Oh, yeah.
And if you feel like I will fall asleep, but I will keep waking up. And having strange dreams about tired legs. But, other than that, really, to tell you the truth, I never felt, like I wanted to quit altogether. There were times of where it was like, something was gonna force me to quit. Like when I first noticed the swelling in my legs, I thought, okay, that's gonna be, somebody's gonna say, doctor, you quit. If you do this any farther, something very bad's gonna happen. But I never really felt that. So.
Did you have your nighttime accommodations lined up?
Oh, yeah, I had rectories lined up all the whole way. Yeah. And I figured once I got to Tilden, I could stay on my own bed. So. But, yeah, Don.
Is it fairly level, or are there a lot of hills?
Yeah, it's fairly level. Valentine was probably about the only place, Valentine, Cherry County, where you had some slight inclines, up and down. But once you got out into Brown County, it began to level off a little bit more. And then by the time you got to Rock County, it was as flat as a pancake. And in fact, I didn't encounter any inclines until I got to Norfolk, believe it or not. Yeah, flat as can be. Remember, it's a rail line, folks, so you really don't have much. Yeah, yeah. And then you had cows before that, you didn't want to have them keep going up hills and stuff, so. But I would say it was if somebody wanted to take a bike on it, they could, because I know how hard biking can be going up hills. But even that really wasn't that bad, But you could note it was a noticeable incline.
And wind?
Wind was my friend the first day. It was to my back. Wind was not a friend my second day when I made the Stewart, because it wasn't in my face, but it cut across. Never underestimate wind that cuts across you. It's almost as bad as in your face, because that's when you really start to feel it. That first day, it almost seemed to be pushing, which was good. But yeah, other than that, it was tough. But again, like I said, weather-wise, even if it had rained, it wouldn't have bothered me that much.
What you got that cane for on it?
He's not speaking about the case.
Yeah.
Pretty darn tired.
Yeah.
You said earlier you needed that truck. What did you mean by that?
What's that?
You really needed that truck, but Bill and his truck, or what did you mean by that?
Scott and his truck was there because I was carrying a bag. I was carrying a bag that had my clothes in it, my toiletries in it, and after about 25 miles of it, it gets heavy. And in fact, anybody who ever was in the Army that talked about those long 25-mile marches with their rifle and that stuff, I understand now. And so he came along at the right moment and asked if there's anything that could be done. And I just simply said, take my bag and take it to Ainsworth. He was at the perfect time, at the perfect place, because I was ready to call the office and said, somebody has to come out here and get this bag now. So it was, yeah, absolutely perfect for him. I just found it interesting that he was there at that time. He wasn't there at Valentine to see me off when it wouldn't have mattered. He wasn't there at Ainsworth when it was too late. He was there at Wood Lake when I really needed to have that thing off of me. So,
Guardian angel.
divine providence, exactly. Yeah, it is. It is.
Is the surface of the trail the same as it is at Neely?
No, by and large, most of it is, but, there are certain areas of where it's more of a silty, and I'm thinking of Brown County out west.
Okay.
And then, of course, when you get into the towns, like Ainsworth, O'Neill, Norfolk, to some extent Battle Creek, but even Battle Creek just because of the road, it becomes paved.
Oh, it does.
Because people ride their bikes on it, they walk, they do that stuff. But by and large, it is either a red I'm reluctant to call it crushed rock kind of deal. It's more of a paved kind of thing. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what that surface is. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, it's by and large the same except in certain spots. Yeah.
Did you get sunburned or did you keep that?
Oh yeah, sunburn. If it wasn't sunburn, it was windburn. I'm peeling on the nose. I'm peeling right here. I got stuff on my ear. Yeah.
How's your leg?
Swollen. So,
We're welcome home.
thank you.
Yes, that's good.
I've mixed two of us.
Did anybody here try to give Father advice? I did, and you know what he said to me? Thank you, Mother.
I got to do this,
Thank
guys.
you, Mother.
I got to do this.
Well, Father,
Stick was a blessing though.
Yeah.
I'll bet you'll be the only priest in this archdiocese that's done something like this.
I'm pretty sure I am. And after they hear what's all entailed, they probably won't.
I
Yeah.
like the little deal. I think the girls probably put it on Facebook. They had your trail with your picture, you know.
Yeah.
It was,
I heard about that. Like I said, I heard it's red where I hadn't been yet, and it was black where I had been. I said, well, okay, that's fine, as long as you left Stuart to Atkinson still red. But other than that, everything you saw on that trail, I did. So, yeah,
we're just glad you're home.
I am too. I am too. Yeah, that was an adventure, no doubt about it. So,
Safe and sound.
yeah, definitely.
So how much money did you raise, Father? Do you have a?
I don't know the last totals. I think they got it right here. Yeah,
As of this morning,
yeah.
We got a bunch that came in.
757.
It's still coming in.
So anyway, yeah, amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, people from all over. I mean, it's my old parishes in Omaha and in Cedar County and Thomas More in Omaha too, and they've been wonderful. Like I said, and then just people I don't know who they are. They just simply do that. They have a prayer request. And I did remember all the prayer requests that people had asked for when I went on the trail. And,
I sure hope we get to keep you for a while.
well, I think after this, yeah, I think Bill Phillips was telling me about the May 15th Archbishop's dinner, and how I was told that they dropped me off in Valentine and told me that I was going to have to walk home. To which I was ready to respond. You know, when I got to Ainsworth, I found out that Father Heidoff was leaving to go to Sydney, and it's like, well, you know something? This just probably is good enough for me right now to just stop right here. So I'll become the new pastor of Ainsworth and sing praise. But I better keep going. It's still the Grand Island Diocese. So, but no, it was. Yeah, I don't see any other priest pulling a stunt like this. I just don't. I mean, prove me wrong, but if they do, they're asking for it.
How did you come up with this idea anyway?
I used to walk the Cowboy Trail. Was in Battle Creek. I thought, you know something, I need something to capture people's imagination. There's something about somebody doing a specific goal of coming from one point to another point that says, you know something, I'll get behind something like that. You know, it'd be one thing if Father Ross just went to the gym and just shot free throws all night.
Yeah.
But when you talk about walking the Cowboy, it's like, my gosh, that's Valentine to Norfolk. Are you kidding me? It's like, if he's crazy enough to do it, I'm crazy enough to support him. And the other thing, too, is it's also, it was something I wanted to draw attention to because, like I said, Gym Mass Fest is not the most attractive thing to draw attention to. It'd be one thing if I went out there and I'm saying I'm walking for scholarships for kids. Or if I'm building a new addition to the church or to the gym. People would say, oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's we could see that. People are going to go into the gym and it's not going to be any different, much more different than what it's been. the reason why I wanted to do that, put the sacrifice into it, is I'm saying this is something that we need to do. You know, and in fact, Father Heidoff in Ainsworth was talking to me about the fact that he's got some issues with it. So, but you know, I just want to do it to say I just want to do this because we need to have a project done, and it needs to get done. So much stuff happens in that gym, you know that.
Is that Father Heidoff? Is he from here?
He's actually from Cedar Valley, but he does have relatives here.
I was just not familiar with his.
Yeah. He does have relatives in here.
And where is he the priest at?
Ainsworth. For now. I call it the NFL. Not for long. Yeah.
I don't think I know him.
Yeah. Well, he's the south edge of, he's about Steffensbarger's place.
The Grand Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your weather was good.
The weather was perfect. If it would have been too hot, you know, if it would have been like Saturday, I wouldn't have been doing well. Never rained.
No, but here it did.
Tuesday, no, Wednesday. Wednesday I saw it. But it went south and east. Oh, I had a plastic. Oh, I'm fine, thanks. I'll grab something later.
Okay, good.
So, anyway, any other questions? Comments? Anything?
We're proud of you.
Thank you. Well, first, I want to thank all of you for coming today. This is great. It really is. You know, it's so wonderful to see so many people support me along the way and are here with me this morning. And, you know, pipe breaking, I just wasn't doing it.
I had to lie to the priest to get him down here.
When I saw the cars rolling in, it's like, okay, that worked for about 5 seconds. So anyway, thanks all very much for coming, and stay around and chat more. I don't think the kids are supposed to be here for another hour.
Half an hour.